All right, so you got a couple young guns that are making themselves known here during fall camp. Guys that could potentially see the field in meaningful roles this upcoming season. And you remember last year we talked about rising stars, and I definitely think you have another one here on the defensive side of the ball at a position where I think a lot of us are definitely overlooking. So make sure you guys are joining the discussion, jumping in the comments below, giving me your thoughts. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like and hit that subscribe button. Remember, we're doing a giveaway for a Dion Burks autograph right here. I'll be giving that away next Monday. All you have to do is comment on the videos. Make sure you guys are subscribed, and I will be picking that out next Monday. Every single video you comment on gives you an entry to win this card. I will be announcing the winner here on the channel, and then we'll hopefully try to get in contact so I can get that out to you. We'll have a couple others throughout the season. We've got Dylan Gabriel and a couple others, so you guys will make sure you guys are wanting to join in for that and stay tuned. So, all right, well, let's talk about young guns, because Brent Venables was asked a couple days ago about some youthful guys that, could potentially get on the field for Oklahoma in a meaningful role. Obviously, he talked about, David Stone, definitely talked about EPL, which obviously fans really love, Michael Fasusi, Ryan Foje. But there was one name that was mentioned that I thought was really intriguing. And then it's a name that keeps getting brought up all over social media. You're seeing videos from practices, and these scrimmages, which, by the way, unprecedented access, it feels like, from Oklahoma for these fall camps. Absolutely love it. If anybody, Jim Nagy or anybody sees these videos, please don't stop it. Give us more. We absolutely love it. Oh, hey, or, let me come pay like $5. Let the fans pay $5 to come watch a scrimmage during the fall, like in the stadium. We would all love that. We would all eat it up before the season. But anyways, Courtland Gillery has been making a name for himself. And this is really intriguing because this isn't a name that I thought we would be hearing a ton this year. I thought this was going to be a guy that redshirted, and maybe you hear from him by year 2 or 3. But let me tell you, at 6 foot, and we talked about this when I had to go back and I had to watch my video when Courtland Gillery committed. We talked about this a lot during that commitment, which was Courtland Gillery at 6 foot has a really nice frame, really nice size. And one of the things that you really notice, and I'm going to show some videos here in a second, and specifically a one-on-one that he did with Keontez Lewis. But one of the things you notice is he's really able to leverage that frame to be able to go out there and, close the catch radius for the wide receiver. And so right here, by the way, phenomenal route and great catch by Keontez Lewis. He definitely caught that. But great coverage by Courtland Gillery, right? Did not lose his footing, did not lose his stepping here, kept with Keontez Lewis. And these are great wide receivers for Oklahoma. So to see your cornerbacks go out here and play this kind of coverage makes me feel like they're going to go out there and be successful this year. And the cornerbacks were kind of an area of the defense that we thought maybe had been lacking this year, wasn't going to be a super big strong suit for Oklahoma. But I'm not going to say Courtland Gillery is going to start over the likes of a Gentry Williams or an Eli Bowen, but I think there's going to be an opportunity for him to see the field in rotational snaps. And the reason why that is one, because we need to see Eli Bowen and Gentry Williams stay healthy for an entire season. They haven't been able to, so there might be opportunities there. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen. But also, you're going to see guys like Kendall Dolby hit the field at the quarterback position, which it feels like maybe he's going to be like that cheetah again, but definitely going to play some cornerback. But you've also got Jacoby Johnson, who's been in the room for a while. A lot of people are kind of wondering, is this the year that, we finally see him in like a really significant, meaningful role? But then you've got some other young guys. We talked about Eli Bowen being a starter, who was a guy last year that we were talking about in this same position, being a guy that kind of shocked everybody and was kind of like a rising star. Well, that's kind of where we're at with Courtland Gillery. I think Courtland Gillery is going to see the field, meaningful snaps. He's going to be a great corner for you, and he's just a foundation piece for this defense going into the future. So, as you can see right here, going up against Emmanuel Choice, who on the offensive side of the ball, I have high hopes for. I hope, we get to see him in 4 games. He redshirts, and then over the next couple of years is a impactful wide receiver for Oklahoma. This was one of the best pickups I think Oklahoma had here in the 2025 class. And Courtland Gillery, again, staying right with him, a wide receiver that's bigger with him, kind of gets him to run out of bounds, which, would be an incomplete pass. So if you're an Oklahoma fan, I think you feel great by the news that Courtland Gillery can be a guy for you at this position and is definitely making an impact right away. And a guy that Brent Venables and the coaching staff and other players definitely are not shying away from to talk about. I think I saw one quote specifically that said, like, this dude's a dog. Like, he's just a dog. Or somebody was saying, like, he learns fast, or, like, this is a guy that competes hard day in and day out. And so, yeah, like, the whole Switzer Center is raving about Courtland Gillery. You see the media raving about Courtland Gillery. Coaches are raving about Courtland Gillery. And, season's right around the corner. I'm sure we're going to get to see him week 1. And who knows, maybe this is one of the next great Oklahoma corners, which would be fantastic. But kind of looking at some of those other young guys across the team that Brent Venables mentioned, obviously, it really feels like EPL is pushing for a starting spot. The question is, is he going to push out a Fabici Wewu, or is he going to push out Heath Ozaida, right? Does he start over one of those guys? EPL is going to be hard to keep off the field. A Michael Fasusi, right? When does he hit the field? Where is he at in the rotation? Is he going to be a 2-deep guy? If a Jake Taylor or Jacob Sexton need to be replaced, or even a Derek Simmons, it's Michael Fasusi able to step up in that role. What about Ryan Foje? Because remember, a lot of people raved about Ryan Foje coming out of high school. And towards the end of the recruiting cycle, Ryan Foje shot up the rankings. So these are all guys that have been able to get mentions from Brent Venables, definitely are getting mentions from the media. And these are all guys that everybody's going to have their eyes peeled on. For me, one of the young guys that I'm really paying attention to is at the wide receiver position, and we saw him in that video. It's Emmanuel Choice. I want to see what he's able to bring to Oklahoma. I thought he had really good size and length. A lot of people at the wide receiver position are watching Elijah Thomas, right? Is Elijah Thomas able to be the guy that I think there were some people out there saying that if he played at a bigger school or played in a different district, that maybe he could have been close to a 5-star ranking. And so, Elijah Thomas, I'm sure we'll see quite a bit of him as well, but it feels like the young guys are coming in and competing for Oklahoma right away, which I feel like is the vision of Jim Nagy. Jim Nagy, I feel like, wanted to get guys that are going to be able to come in and drive some of the older guys to be the best they can be, but also wanted to bring in guys that can be difference makers day one as soon as they step on campus. And I think they did a really good job of that. So if you guys are new to the channel and you guys have not already, make sure you guys hit that like, hit that subscribe button, join the discussion, jump in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think about Courtland Gillery, and, do you think he's a rising star? And as always, I want to remind you guys about the giveaway that we're doing for the Deion Burks autograph card. Make sure that you guys are jumping in the comments so that you guys can get entered in. I'm going to be announcing the winner next Monday. I'll actually be on vacation, but we'll make sure we announce it next Monday. And like I said, every comment, one per video, will get you entered in, so you can have multiple entries to be able to win this. And we're going to be doing other giveaways throughout the season, whether it's I think I've got one for Dylan Gabriel, Javonte Barnes, and some other players. So you guys aren't going to want to miss any of it. So just make sure you're subscribed, and you guys will be brought up to everything at speed going on with Oklahoma football. But until then, we'll see y'all next time.